Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, let's predict the price trend of Nvidia stock. I am a swing investor, and I will not consider the price changes of a stock 1 month later. This channel only makes short-term price predictions for stocks, usually 1 to 3 weeks. Welcome to subscribe to this channel. Nvidia stock fell slightly on Wednesday, but technically it still maintained an upward trend. But we also see that the cumulative increase in the stock this week is not large. Judging from the trading volume, the market's trading has become more and more cautious, and the bull's willingness to further push up the stock price does not seem to be strong. Obviously, the stock is still supported by bullish forces, but there seems to be no more motivation to push the stock price up sharply, and the signal of capital selling in recent trading days is also very obvious. Although this did not lead to a sharp correction in the stock price, it seems that some profitable capital has exited the market in order to avoid the risk of a stock price correction, and this wave of selling seems to have just begun. Through the 30-minute chart of the stock, we can see that on May 29th, the stock price rose sharply and then retreated sharply with a large trading volume. It seems that a lot of funds have flowed out of the market, but then the stock price did not continue to fall but rebounded again. However, the stock price did not rise much afterwards. Although the bulls are still trying to maintain the stock price, the market does not seem to want the stock price to rise further, which shows that the stock is currently facing great pressure to pull back, because the current price has a large profit margin compared to the low in April, and the continued selling of profitable capital has suppressed the further rise of the stock price. Of course, it seems that it is not easy for the bears to significantly lower the stock price, because there are layers of support positions below the current price of the stock. In the absence of major negative news, even if the stock price falls back, its room for decline may not be large. Through the position distribution of the stock, we can see that the stock currently has a large number of positions distributed in the $129.70 to $145 area, and $137.40 is the watershed. There are a large number of positions distributed in both the upper and lower price areas, which means that a large amount of funds may have withdrawn from the market in the area above $137.40, but there seems to be a bull force supporting the stock price in the area below the price. If the stock price rises further, then it means that the stock needs to rise to the $150 to $152 area before it can pull back. But I think it is more likely that the stock will adjust downward next than if the stock price opens up another profit margin. On Wednesday, Nvidia CEO Huang delivered a keynote speech at the Artificial Intelligence Developer Conference in France. He announced a series of new partnerships with European companies and said that the company will establish and expand artificial intelligence technology centers in Germany, Sweden, Italy, Spain, the United Kingdom, and Finland. However, Huang's speech did not cause its stock price to rise, but fell slightly. This shows that Nvidia stock is currently facing great pressure to pull back, which is not only from the technical aspect, but also from peer competition pressure and still uncertain tariff issues. Despite the recent lack of momentum for the stock to rise, it seems difficult to justify a sell rating on Nvidia stock. Nvidia's strong performance in the latest quarter and the company's active actions in products and markets in the past 2 months have made more Wall Street analysts optimistic about Nvidia stock. In the past 3 months, 41 analysts have given Nvidia stock a comprehensive rating of strong buy. Among them, the buy rating accounts for as high as 87.8%, while the sell rating accounts for only 2.4%. These analysts gave an average price target of $172.50 for Nvidia stock, which is much higher than the current price. The highest price target for Nvidia stock is $210 and the lowest price target is $100. The US and China have reached a framework to implement a trade deal struck between the two sides last month in Geneva, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick announced. President Donald Trump then posted on Truth Social on Wednesday that, "Our deal with China is done. subject to final approval with President Xi and me. Full magnets and any necessary rare earths will be supplied upfront by China. Likewise, we will provide to China what was agreed to, including Chinese students using our colleges and universities. We are getting a total of 55% tariffs. China is getting 10%. Relationship is excellent, Trump said Wednesday. Adding to the China readout, President 11 and I are going to work closely together to open up China to American trade. This would be a great win for both countries. He also said, regarding the trade issue between the United States and China, my view has not changed. I think both sides want to make concessions temporarily to make things go forward, but the fundamental problems, including trade deficit, intellectual property rights, fentanyl, and non-tariff barriers, remain unresolved, so the results of this negotiation are not good news for the stock market. In fact, I think both sides are preparing for the trade war to escalate again in the future. As for China opening its market to the United States, that is just a dream of President Trump, and it is actually impossible. Let's go back to the daily chart of the stock. Based on the fundamental analysis of Nvidia stock, the stock seems to still have the potential to rise further, but there is still a risk of a sharp correction in the short term. Although the stock is still supported by bullish forces, further increases in the stock price require more catalysts, but obviously, there are no catalysts outside the market, and the correction pressure within the market will follow. Of course, as mentioned earlier, the stock's correction space is not large, because the bullish forces may frantically block the short selling. But this wave of selling must be released before another wave of upward trend can be ushered in. So I set the target price of the stock in the $129.70 to $137.40 area. Then the stock will rebound again, but without major positive news, the rebound height may be limited. Okay guys, that's my price prediction for Nvidia stock. Thanks for watching. If you agree with my analysis, please share and subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video.